Imagine if every word you spoke was a thread weaving the fabric of your identity.
Think about it. The way you communicate is not just about transmitting information. It is a window into your thoughts, your emotions, your upbringing, and even your subconscious beliefs. What if I told you that the words you choose, the tone you use, and the rhythm of your speech could reveal more about you than you ever intended? Today, we are diving into something truly eye-opening. By the end of this discussion, you will not only understand why you speak the way you do, but you will also uncover hidden aspects of yourself that you may have never considered. And the final revelation, it is the most powerful of all. It might completely change the way you approach communication forever. Language is more than just a tool. It is a fingerprint of your mind, a signature of your experiences, and a reflection of your inner world. From the way we structure sentences to the words we instinctively choose, every aspect of our speech is shaped by something deeper: our psychology, our environment, and even our biology. Think back to a moment when you met someone who spoke in a way that immediately captivated you. Perhaps their voice was calm and soothing, or maybe their words carried an air of authority that commanded respect. Now, contrast that with someone whose speech felt scattered, hesitant, or uncertain. What made the difference? Was it simply the choice of words, or was there something more at play? The truth is, the way we speak is not random. It is influenced by countless factors: our upbringing, our social circles, our cultural background, and even the way our brains process information. Psychology has long studied the connection between language and identity. Sigmund Freud, for instance, believed that our speech patterns often reveal subconscious desires and internal conflicts. Meanwhile, modern research in linguistics has shown that our vocabulary and speaking style can indicate everything from our level of confidence to our emotional state. Consider this. Studies have found that people who frequently use filler words like and like may not necessarily be unsure of what they are saying. In some cases, these words serve as a cognitive tool, giving the speaker time to process information. However, excessive use of these fillers can also signal nervousness or a lack of certainty. On the other hand, individuals who speak with deliberate pauses and controlled pacing often come across as more confident and authoritative. But what about the words themselves? Our choice of words is perhaps one of the most revealing aspects of our speech. Research in the field of psycholinguistics has uncovered fascinating insights about how word usage can reflect personality traits. For example, people who use more personal pronouns like I and me tend to be more introspective and self-aware, whereas those who favor collective terms like we and us often display stronger social connections and empathy. There is also the question of formality versus informality. Think about how your speech changes depending on whom you are speaking to. When addressing a close friend, your tone is likely casual, filled with colloquialisms and slang. But when speaking to a superior or in a professional setting, your language likely becomes more structured, precise, and refined. This shift is not accidental. It is an adaptive response shaped by social conditioning and learned behavior. Now, here's something even more intriguing. The way you speak can influence not only how others perceive you, but also how you perceive yourself. The psychological concept known as linguistic relativity suggests that language shapes thought. In other words, The words you habitually use can actually reinforce certain thought patterns and beliefs. If you frequently describe yourself using negative language, saying things like, "I am terrible at this," or "I always mess up," you may be conditioning your mind to accept these statements as truths. On the other hand, if you make a conscious effort to use positive and empowering language, you may begin to cultivate a stronger and more resilient mindset. Think about this for a moment. When was the last time you really paid attention to the way you speak? Have you ever noticed certain patterns in your speech that might be revealing more about you than you intended? Take a second to reflect. Do you use words that emphasize confidence or hesitation? Do you speak with clarity, or do your words sometimes get lost in uncertainty? As we continue, we are going to explore even deeper layers of this fascinating topic. There are subtle elements within your speech that go beyond just words and tone, things that hint at your personality, your social standing, and even your level of emotional intelligence. And trust me, the final insight will completely shift the way you think about communication forever. Are you ready to uncover more? Think about the last conversation you had. Were you fully aware of how you were speaking? Most people are not. We tend to focus on what we are saying rather than how we are saying it. But the truth is, the how often carries more weight than the what. Take tone, for example. Studies in communication psychology have repeatedly shown that tone of voice conveys more meaning than words alone. In fact, Albert Mehrabian, a renowned psychologist, proposed that only 7% of meaning is derived from words, while 38% comes from tone of voice, and a staggering 55% comes from body language. This means that even if you choose your words carefully, if your tone does not match your intent, your message may not be received the way you expect. Imagine a person saying, "I am fine." These three words seem simple enough, but now picture them being said in different tones, one warm and reassuring, another cold and distant, and yet another sarcastic and dismissive. The words remain the same, yet the meaning shifts entirely based on tone. This is why some people can command attention effortlessly, while others struggle to be taken seriously. The power is not just in the message, but in the delivery. Now, let us go even deeper. The rhythm and pacing of your speech also play a crucial role in how others perceive you. Have you ever noticed how confident speakers tend to slow down their speech, allowing each word to land with impact? This is no coincidence. When we are nervous, our instinct is often to speed up, as if we are rushing to get the words out before our thoughts slip away. But this can make us sound anxious or uncertain. On the other hand, a controlled, measured pace signals confidence, authority, and self-assurance. There is a reason why some of the most influential leaders in history, think Martin Luther King Jr. or Barack Obama, are known for their deliberate, rhythmic speech patterns. Their words are carefully spaced, their pauses intentional. This technique not only makes their message more powerful, but also allows listeners time to absorb and reflect on what is being said. But what about everyday conversations? How does pacing affect our interactions? Research suggests that mirroring someone's speech pattern, whether in speed, tone, or vocabulary, can actually foster a sense of connection and rapport. This is known as linguistic mirroring, a subconscious phenomenon where people naturally adjust their speech to match those around them. It is a social survival mechanism, a way to create a sense of familiarity and trust. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you spend time with someone who has a distinct accent or way of speaking, you start to adopt some of their speech patterns? This is not just coincidence. Our brains are wired for social bonding, and speech is one of the primary tools we use to establish connection. The way you speak does not just reflect who you are, it actively shapes who you become. Your speech is not just a passive habit, but an active force capable of influencing your confidence, your relationships, and even your future success. When you become aware of the way you speak, you gain the power to refine it, to shift from speaking out of habit to speaking with purpose. When you start eliminating these subtle forms of self-deprecation, you begin to reshape your self-perception. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," try saying, "I'm still learning, but I'm improving." This small shift reinforces a growth mindset rather than reinforcing limitations. But beyond individual changes, there's a broader transformation that happens when you take control of your speech. You start to influence not only yourself, but also those around you. Have you ever noticed how confident, articulate speakers naturally draw people in? It's not just about what they say, it's about how they make others feel. People gravitate toward those who exude clarity and certainty because those qualities create a sense of trust and leadership. This brings us to the final, most powerful realization. Your voice is your power. It's a tool that can elevate you, inspire others, and shape the trajectory of your life. When you refine the way you communicate, you're not just improving your speech, you're redefining who you are. So, as you move forward, I challenge you to pay closer attention to your words. Listen to how you speak. Identify the patterns that hold you back and consciously shift them toward empowerment. Speak with confidence, clarity, and conviction because the way you use your voice determines the impact you make in the world. Are you ready to take control of your voice and unlock your true potential? Instead, try reframing your words. Instead of saying, "I am bad at this," say, "I am learning how to do this." Instead of, "I have no idea," say, "I am figuring it out." These small shifts rewire your mindset, reinforcing growth rather than limitation. Now, here comes the most profound realization of all. Your voice is not simply a tool for communication. It is a tool for creation. The moment you speak, you are actively shaping the way you present yourself to the world. Each word that comes out of your mouth has the power to reinforce a version of you, either one that exudes confidence, clarity, and strength, or one that reveals hesitation, uncertainty, and doubt. You are either opening new opportunities, widening the doors to possibility, or you are closing them, locking yourself into a narrow space of fear or self-doubt. Your words are also the bridges to others. They can create connections, foster understanding, and build relationships, or they can put up walls, distancing you from those you wish to engage with. So, I want you to take a step back and really reflect. What story are you telling with your speech? Is it a narrative of self-assurance, purpose, and strength? Or does it echo a story of limitation, uncertainty, and missed potential? The beauty of it all is that you have the power to choose. Right here, right now, you can begin the journey of listening to yourself. Truly listening to the words you use, the tone you adopt, and the rhythm that underpins your speech. Pay attention to how your voice fluctuates, how your choice of words reflects your inner state, and how your tone can either reassure or betray your true feelings. When you cultivate this awareness, something transformative happens. You realize that you have the ability to adjust it. You have the ability to reshape the way you communicate to match the person you want to be. And when you change the way you communicate, the way others perceive you changes as well. Your words become more than just sounds. They become a reflection of your confidence, your clarity, and your authenticity. Your thoughts, too, begin to shift. You begin to think with more certainty, with more purpose, and with more possibility. As your speech becomes a conscious reflection of your evolving mindset, the trajectory of your life itself begins to change. So, now that you are aware of the profound influence your words have on your reality, the question is, how will you use this newfound awareness? Will you continue to let your speech be a passive reflection of old habits, or will you consciously shape it to reflect the best version of yourself, the one you truly wish to become? The power is now in your hands. The story of your life is being written with every word you speak. How will you tell it? Thank you for reading and for taking the first step toward becoming the author of your own voice.